Hi everyone, in this video I will show you how to make this clay turtle. When using clay in my classroom, I give each student a large piece of cardboard to work on. This helps keep the tables a lot cleaner. You could also use a piece of board like this. Another suggestion might be covering the surface area with a large piece of paper so that the table doesn't get dirty. You will also need some clay. I'm using this gray clay right now. It turns white after firing. I store it in baggies, and before I close the bag, I like to spray a little bit of water in there to keep it moist so it doesn't dry out. Gloves are a great option if you don't want to get your hands dirty with the clay. You will need a cup of water and some carving tools. I like to use some of these wooden sticks. They're pointed on one end and flat on the other. Some plastic carving tools, some that are curved, some that are flat edged. Toothbrush makes some nice texture on your clay projects. Brushes are always good to have to smooth out any cracks. I like to use a spray bottle filled with water for wetting the clay. I'm getting out any air bubbles out of my clay. You don't want any air bubbles or air pockets inside the clay. Work with the clay, work out any of those air pockets. I'm going to take a piece off for the details, the legs, the head, and the tail of my turtle. And this other part I'm going to ball up. And I'm going to start by making a pinch pot for the body and shell of the turtle. So to do that, roll up the clay into a ball, put your thumb inside the clay like this, twist it around, and then we're just going to pinch the clay going around it like this as you turn. That's why it's called a pinch pot. You're pinching the clay. All right, we're going to continue doing this until it makes kind of a shell shape that we like, because we're going to turn it upside down like this. So this way would be like a bowl or a pot, but this way, turtle shell. Try to keep about the thickness of your pinky. Work out any cracks, smooth it out. I'm gonna flip it over. You want a nice dome shape for the shell. And then with the remaining clay, we're gonna add legs. Now it could be a turtle that would live on land. It could be a sea turtle. Gonna roll up 4 balls of clay. So you decide what kind of turtle you would like to make. You're gonna need 4 legs, a head, and a tail. Trying to make all the legs about the same size. And the head's gonna be a little bit bigger and a little bit of clay for the tail. And the tail you can make pointy. Now we're going to attach these pieces of clay to the shell. So to do that, we have to score the clay first. So I'm going to take my pointy tool and I'm going to make some scratches into the clay. This helps the other pieces stick to it. This is where the legs are going to go. On the front, this will be where the head goes. Another foot, back leg, and tail right in the back. I'm also going to score the pieces that I'm going to attach, making little lines. The next step is you have to wet the clay. That's called slip. So you can either use a container with water, you could use a spray bottle with water. You're going to wet the part that you're going to attach, and you might want to put your finger inside of the project. After you wet it, you're going to stick them together, kind of smush them together. You can use one of your carving tools and make sure you get all the way around so it looks like it's one piece. This helps it from breaking off. There's one. So repeat the same steps. Stick. Smooth. I'm gonna go back and smooth that one out more later. You could either make a sea turtle or land turtle, like I said at the beginning. Now I'm going to smooth out what I attached. I'm putting more clay where the head is, inside the shell, just to strengthen up the project. Put my name on the inside while I have it flipped over here. All right, now I'm going to add more details on the body and the shell. Adding some details where the body parts go inside the shell. Then I'm going to draw a pattern on the shell. So I'm going to draw a hexagon. It's a six-sided shape. Just keep repeating. Once you get the shape of the head that you like, add some eyes. You could use one of the wooden tools, flat side, and make a circle. This, kind of twist it. There's one. Two. Two little lines here for the nose. Now I'm going to take my water and one of my brushes, and I'm just going to smooth out some of the parts, getting rid of any cracks. You don't want any cracks on your project. They'll get larger as the project dries and cause it to fall apart and break. So try to smooth out any cracks that you might see as you're working. This guy's looking pretty good. So I did a turtle that lives on the land. Gonna fix up the pattern I did on the shell a little bit here. Alright, you can draw any pattern you want on the shell. It doesn't have to be made of hexagon shapes. I just thought that would look nice. You can just draw oval shapes if you want. Now I'm done making the turtle. I'm going to go place it in the drying cabinet and let it get completely dry before firing it in the kiln. I might even put a crumbled piece of paper towel underneath the shell to help it maintain its shape. I'll show you what it looks like when it is completely dry. This turtle is now completely dry and ready for firing in the kiln. This is my kiln. It's an older one. It still works pretty good. Here's the inside of some of the clay projects I've been working on. You will need various colors of glaze to paint onto your clay project. These glazes are non-toxic, lead-free, and food safe. And 2 coats work really well, and you can fire it at a cone of 4 in your kiln. You will need a palette for the glaze. When I'm having my students paint their projects with glaze in my classroom, I put 1 cup at each table, and each table has a different color of glaze. Then the students can move around the room and use that color, and when they're done, they go to the next table and use that color. And at the end of the class, it's easier for me to clean up because I can take like this green glaze and put it back in the bottle, and then I'm not wasting any of it. You will need a cup of water for cleaning off your brushes. You will also need some brushes to paint with. You will also need a paper towel to dry off your brushes. Also, when I'm painting, I'm going to use this Lazy Susan. This spins around, and then it's easy for me to get to all sides of the clay project. Here's what the turtle looks like after being fired in the kiln. The clay has turned white, and now it is hard like a rock. I'm going to give this 2 coats of glaze. Here are my palettes. I'm probably going to mix some of these colors up to get the colors that I want. I'm going to give it 2 coats of paint, and then we'll put it in the kiln for a second time. finished painting my turtle, I decided to add a little surprise when you pick it up and look under the shell. I added a heart. Here's what the shell looks like from the top. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to put it in the kiln a second time, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like completed. Here's how my turtle turned out. You can see the bright colors on the shell and the body, the pattern I did on the legs and the head. I used 2 different greens on the shell. That came out pretty nice. I love how shiny it is. This brown color I mixed by mixing orange and blue together to make this brown. And then when you flip it over, there's the heart underneath, kind of a little surprise. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and making a turtle with me today. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.